Hello there, and welcome to Paris Set Me Free. Mini photo tutorials, quick sip of coffee, and off we go. You'll be looking at this shot thinking, that's a beautiful picture of a Parisian green plastic bin. I don't know if Americans would call it trash can, because it's not really a can, but I was doing this tour with an American, Sarah, from Chicago, and we had a nice time. This is a little secret garden which used to be open, and I haven't seen it open for quite a few months now, in Montmartre. It's right next to that wall. You might have seen another picture, the wall, the I love you wall, where it's got I love you written in about 150 different languages, and people have fun trying to find theirs. This is right next to that, accessible from two sides, one from that I love you wall garden, and one from this kind of passage that goes up a hill, up some steps to the grocer that was in Amélie Poulain. Well, anyway, it's been closed for quite a while, which is a real shame, because it's this little oasis of greenery. I think there's a children's vegetable garden and stuff like that. Don't know why it's closed. Anyway, now we just have to sneak a look through the gate, and that's what I'm doing here. And Sarah took the same picture, so I'm looking forward to seeing your pictures of this, Sarah. Now, something you can do here, a very, very nice thing you can do. It's ideal for a diptych. In other words, two pictures the same. And what do? Well, you look through here. You've got a frame, and you've got something through it, and the frame contrasts heavily with what you can see through it. When I say frame, it's not really a frame as such. It's something we'll see later, but you use it as a frame. I always walk around looking for frames, found frames you could call them. Some people talk about found shots or something like that. I talk about found frames, which I look for hard. So I'm just going to go through the shots I took. Now you see what I've done there. Obviously I thought, well, yeah, really nice, but don't really want the green rubbish bin. So what did I do? Looks like I think I probably walked back and zoomed in, which has the effect of reducing the size of what you can see through the hole, because of the difference in perspective. The change in relative distance makes this bush, for example, if I walk back, this bush becomes relatively bigger in this hole. If you look at the last one, it's much smaller. As I walk back and zoom in, this will happen. Just go through that. The bin's gone, which is good. There I wanted to take in a bit of the side thing and a bit of the bottom, give it a bit of extra interest. There's the bin again. Hey! Now I've moved. What have I done there? I've done something. Basically, I've just moved my body in such a way and looked very carefully through the viewfinder as I was taking the shot to make sure that damn bin wasn't in there. I quite like the idea of the fact that you have this frame, but you also have a bar and then a bit of another glimpse through there, plus another glimpse on the right there. That glimpse there echoes this glimpse here, which makes it more balanced. Continuing on, I'm playing with the exposure, probably hitting my plus or minus button just to try and get the right colours. Look, there you can see the edge more clearly, but this is a bit washed out. If you shut it down, give it less light, maybe half the light, there you go. The greens have gone nice and rich. Unfortunately, the bush has gone almost towards black, and this is very dark, so this is nice and bright through this darkness, but it's just a question of playing around. There's another attempt, as you can see, and then look what I did. It's exactly the same shot, but I focused on this bit, and as you can see, it's a deliciously burnt, jagged piece of plastic which someone has probably taken a lighter to and produced this marvellous frame. Half of the frame is actually the iron railing itself, and half of it is this gorgeously ragged edge, burnt. You couldn't get much better than that. On a recent painting of mine, called something like "The Earth Lies Screaming," I spent quite a bit of time with little bits of canvas which I was sticking onto the painting itself, burning the edges of these canvas which were being supposedly burnt by these great slashes in the earth. You can find that somewhere else on Paris Set Me Free in the painting section probably, but I love this burnt effect. It's really, really nice. I'll just go through what I was doing here. Now there you see it's absolutely straight on, no tilting the camera, and it's much brighter, so I've bumped up the exposure there. That was a bit dull. Still making sure to focus on the outside. I generally use spot focusing. Put one little spot somewhere, probably in the middle, focus on the edge here, and then recompose with the button pressed halfway down. I almost use that exclusively, rather than any of these grid metering things, which are just a bit complicated, to be honest, and generally don't get what I want to be in focus. This way of doing it, get the spot pointed at what you want in focus, recompose with the button halfway down, still focused on that thing, and you'll get the focusing right every time. I obviously tried a few different ones. There's a tilt, there's another tilt. Alright, so let's see the final result. So I've put them as a diptych, and let me just show you at the bottom on my site is the other version. Okay, so there's the first version, and if I click on this, it kind of melts into the other one, which is quite nice. There you go. So you see both of them I've got this little thing at the bottom. If I click over to the other one, I put that one there, so you can click back and forth. And if you do have them just in the same, if your pages are exactly the same, you can actually make them sort of melt into each other, which is a rather nice effect like that. It's funny what happens when you don't focus on something. Here I haven't focused on the edge. It becomes much bigger, goes all fuzzy, and you can sort of see through the edges. I mean, look, I didn't really change where I was. It was the same really. Look, you've got this slit here, and you've got this slit here, which I decided on. You'll notice I don't think there's any bin in the shot. If there is, it's there, and you can't really see it. And then, it's exactly the same position really. I've still got the slot, and look how big it's become because of those fuzzy edges. Just compare again with the sharp version. Tiny little slit there. Even this seems much smaller. That's very sharp, and then you've got this sort of fuzz, gorgeous fuzz, which is very nice. And look what happens to the bush. There it's crystal sharp, a bit too sharp actually, to be honest. When I reduced it down to this size for the web page, didn't sharpen up very nicely. It's a bit gritty, but look at the soft version. Lovely soft blob. So that's nice. And just to give a bit of meaning behind it, it's rather nice because you've got this rather ironic contrast between this beautiful little garden where you can imagine kids playing and planting things and seeing them grow, and a certain hint at social deterioration, a graffiti covered panel, which is obviously official. You see this thing here, it's some sort of official panel, one of those stop signs, or maybe even don't post adverts or something like that. And this is the respect that people have shown to it, even in sacred Montmartre. So there's both a very interesting photograph, a very nice framing opportunity, and, if you like, a real social statement. Paris has many sides, folks. So that was a really interesting shot that I wasn't expecting, came across on one of my tours in Montmartre. Montmartre never ever ceases to surprise me. That's it for today. Thanks a lot for visiting, and see you next time in Paris. Of course, you can see a better version at parissetmefree.blogspot.com. Bye bye for now.
Depuis que je suis à Paris, le jour et la nuit, je suis gris. J'ai compris la douceur de vivre. Je suis fou de joie, je suis ivre. Depuis que je suis à Paris.